Hello and welcome to another upload. Now we're going to talk all things Sony, and it was an unusual conference. Okay, so let's start off with the fact it starts in a church. Bit interesting. This whole thing seems a little bit smaller than we're used to. It's just a tiny little church. What is this, a pre-show? Starting with some sexy Last of Us on a banjo is the correct way to bring everyone's faith back in. And then we get some legitimate in-game stuff for the first time. God damn it, no one animates like Naughty Dog. I could spend this whole video saying that. I'm not going to, but I'll say it like 3 other ways. Wow, you know what? No one animates like, the Naughty Dogs. Hey, you know what? No one animates like those Naughty Dogs. Ha! Sam! No one animates like those Naughty Dogs! Nathan! No, I get it, the conference is being held in the same room that this little cutscene's playing out. Okay, I get it, awesome. I'm fine with the church now. Also, I'm very glad to see that this side of Ellie is being addressed in a main game. Her character came out in a DLC, so I wasn't sure if it would be strongly addressed in the sequel, and here it is. I'm very happy to see this. All those people that aren't so happy to see this, remember, she bashes people in the head with a rock, so if you're a bit uncomfortable with this, and you're fine with the rock bashing, it says a lot about you. And speaking of the rock bashing, we get some actual gameplay and it looks beyond incredible. Also, I should just point out, Ellie is using a bow and arrow, the UI seems to be stripped back a little bit, and wow, Naughty Dog have now just flat out made a Tomb Raider game. They used to be the one that the Tomb Raider copied, now they're kinda doing the same. I'm fine with that though, a Naughty Dog Tomb Raider sounds great, and this looks like it. I love the seamless item pickup and usage straight away. Oh man, I love a good bit of cinematic Naughty Dog. And there's even a crafting system, and we get a little look at that, and it looks quite intuitive. It is funny though, thinking that this still and poised character you're playing is the same person that would just run past you into a wall in a stealth section in Last of Us 1. But we all change, for good and for bad. Some bad is making an intermission in an E3 conference. PlayStation, you may have just stepped a little bit to the left as an arrow came towards your face. What I mean by that is they made a misstep. That would have been easier to say. Within the intermission, there was a few smaller announcements, with a New Game Plus confirmed for God of War, and also 4 remastered maps coming to Black Ops 3. And also Black Ops 3 was confirmed for PlayStation Plus tonight. There was also a Destiny 2 cinematic for the Forsaken DLC, and I don't care about Destiny, but that made me a little emotional. Something else that made me a little emotional was back in the main hall. It was some Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't know I wanted this game, but I do now. See, I hate cinematics, but I love a good bit of assumed cinematic that turns into game footage. And holy shit, it's very good game footage. This game is so pretty, but not just pretty, it's also pretty with a stunning art style based and steeped in Japanese culture. There's already a great variance in terrains as he dives from like farmland to a little bit of jungle to housing. It's very cool to see, but it can't be denied that this does look a bit gamey in some sections, like when he comes across all those enemies and they're just like, yeah, we just finished up that. It's more brutal in styling than I was really expecting, but also I really want it because it's very brutal. It's so smooth, I can't believe how smooth and just poised and prepared all the attacks feel. I'm so keen to get the controller in my hand and understand how the game functions. Like, is it a very simple Assassin's Creed 2 thing, where you just button mash and the combat looks great, but you're really not doing all that much, or is it like the new I'm using Assassin's Creed, I'm sorry. The new Assassin's Creed Origins, where it's like a little bit harder to do, and when you nail it, it looks very good. And also, I will always root for a game that can be played without a HUD. I want to get in that world, and that HUD can go away. Go away, HUD. But in all seriousness, the music, the visual design, and the combat, I had no idea I wanted this game so badly, and I cannot wait for one of these games to get a release date. Seriously, going through my notes, like, I think there's 2 games that have a release date. What the hell, Sony? I don't care. I know 2019 looks nice, but I want to know when I can do this. I want to know when I can control my games. Those fingers are because the next game was Control, a mind-twisting puzzle box of a game that kind of looks like Quantum Break and Portal had some sort of weird obelisk-shaped baby. It looks like it's going to have some fun and unique mechanics, but something that doesn't look all that fun is the protagonist. She just is kind of there. She doesn't look interesting, because I'm just basing it on Sony's other main protagonists. You know, your Nathan Drakes and your Aloys and stuff. You just kind of want a memorable protagonist to hold you through the game, and just looking at her against the world, she kind of looks like they opened up a game engine and just went standard character. Maybe she's there as a relatable character for you to port yourself into. I don't know. Something that the crowd seemed to like was Resident Evil 2. We finally got a trailer for it and it looks quite cool. The dead rat was confronting, but also quite a clever way to reveal your protagonists. Oh, it looks good. I know we've had remasters of this series and stuff before, but this looks cool. This looks like if you took those PS2, PS1 graphics and you just brought them into the future, you didn't rework them, you didn't overly bring them into like a realistic look, they're still absolutely stylized, and it's the first time that I've seen that look that the PlayStation 2 era had for real people. It's the first time I've seen that being brought into the now, and it looked very cool, and I'm very excited to see it. And this was one of the few games that did get a release date. It comes out January 25th. Next up was Trover Saves the Universe, and look, I think I'm like in the middle on this one. I think 50% of the audience was very excited about this, 49% were very angry, and 1% were like, yeah, I guess that is gonna happen. This game kinda just looks like a standard action puzzle platformer with a vibrant art style, kinda unique, but the thing that's gonna make or break it is Justin Roiland and that Rick and Morty humor.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Bathtub Guy, and we're here at E3 to take some looks at this new game I'm gonna show you right now.
I don't know how long I could listen to that. If that's the main joke, the main crux of the game is him doing that really prolonged voice, might not hold it. But you know what? I think there is an audience for this game, and maybe the game outside of Justin Roiland's voice is good. Maybe. And then it was back on the big screen, Kingdom Hearts 3. It just won't leave me alone. Here's the thing, this was almost a good trailer, and then that song started again. And I wanted to throw myself through my television. There's some really good stuff in this trailer. We get a little bit more gameplay. We also get a look at some of the Pirates of the Caribbean related stuff. We hear a very good Johnny Depp voice.
Mustn't strike a pirate aboard ship when said pirate offers to confabulate.
And then the sound effects go away again. Oh my god, just work this out. This game, I'm sure, will be great, and Kingdom Hearts fans are loving it, and that is great. That is lovely. I just don't get what's going on with the sound mix. But hey, not getting a sound mix is different than not getting an entire game, because next was Death Stranding, and oh, what's happening? Finally, a somewhat sensical trailer. There's lots of walking and climbing in different locations. It seems like an emotional journey of a man and what appears to be a dead body strapped to his back. And then it just slowly but surely gets a little bit weirder. There's like an invisible monster that's making some mud tracks, and then this lady pops out and she's got like a spiky shoulder, and then she's like, hey, look at my impractical umbrella. And then it seems like the trailer's ended and you're like, okay, that's odd. And then the trailer keeps going, and Norman Reedus seems to have a terrifying baby front pack, and also an irritating as all hell ghost light. Like if this thing was on my shoulder and it had to do this to give me light, I think I'd just go lay down and die. I don't think I've ever been so terrified of something I don't understand, but you know what? I'm excited. Lay aside dough, everybody. Something we could understand was Neo 2, some weird violent dragon magma and Death Defies You, a simple but effective teaser for the new sequel. And something that we really were waiting for. And when I say we in like a Smeagol Golem sense. Like,
the only reason we're here at E3 is for SpiderMan!
Spider-Man, they played Spider-Man stuff. Okay, so unlike in the films, I'm happy to have a bombardment of Spider-Man villains. In the comics, it was week to week a different villain, so in a sense of that, if there's a new villain every hour in the game, I don't care, it's not the movies, they can do what they want in the game. And I'm especially keen for a good Electro and a good Rhino. We also got a look at the smooth Arkham combat and some of the gadget usage, so you get the like big web grenade ball that, like, traps people down, and that was really cool. And oh my god, is that Scorpion? You're too kind, game. You're too kind. I also loved hearing Spidey talk calmly whilst fighting.
Electro, Rhino, and now Scorpion are all on the loose. What's going on in the rest of the prison?
In most games, that would seem like a design flaw, but in Spidey games, that's how he works. And this game really feels like a combination of all the games that have come before. Especially the on-rails section with Electro, that kinda gives me a proper Edge of Time vibes, and oh my god, the Vulture? Game, calm down, you can't just keep throwing stuff at me, I've got it, my heart's fine, but it might be weak soon. Mr. Sinister shows up and his power set still looks really cool, and no! Did you just stab Peter Parker? You leave him alone, you meanie.
Wait, you?
Who is you? Idea. Everyone there, barring Mr. Sinister, though his name is important for what I'm about to say, they're all members of the Sinister Six. You know who was missing? Well, there was 2 people missing, but Mysterio and Doc Ock. So I reckon maybe the end bit, that was Mysterio, and it turns out that whole side mission was like a mind screw for Parker. He didn't really get hurt or anything, it was just like Mysterio screwing with him. After the conference, From Studio also announced that they've got a VR game in development. It looks very pretty, not much else was known about it, but there's an issue, right? You announced a game outside of the conference. You announced the game via some dudes sitting at a table. I'm not a fan of that. This conference was so close to being cool, because everything they announced was great, but the biggest issue was there was no developers on stage. The reason the whole E3 thing is cool is that you get that bit of the game, but then you get someone coming out and talking about that game, and that's a cool thing, because they know the game. They know the game better than some dudes sitting at a table after the E3's finished. That was the biggest missed thing for me, because in this, rather than developers between the trailers, we get some little snapshots of Dreams, which is a game I really would like, and I'd like it to stop being the butt of every joke and instead become a game. Like, it was great seeing Dreams in use, and it also makes me hope and pray that Dreams is almost done. But just bring it out. Don't do these little skits every year at E3. Don't make it a joke. I think, yeah, Sony have just missed the mark this year on their conference. Not having the developers was a down move, because Ubisoft didn't even announce that many new IPs or new games. Most of it was talking about updates, but because they had the developers there, they had people who loved what they were doing. I was hyped for things I didn't even care about. But all the same, great reveals from Sony. Just missed the mark a little bit this year. But that is all the news from Sony, and it's almost all the news from E3. There's a video coming up about Ubisoft, and then tomorrow it will be all about Nintendo. And if you want to see that, you can hit subscribe and hit like if you enjoyed this video. I'm just pointing down there in random places. They might not make sense. You can also check out our Facebook and Instagram and give them their respective followables too. And we have a Patreon. And with that, if you pay just $2, you can join our Discord server and chat with us, hang out. We'll be on voice chat every now and then. You know, tomorrow when the Nintendo conference is on, maybe I'll turn the voice chat on and we can all just have our own little live chat about the conference. Just $2 and you can join in on that. But you don't have to, because it's your money. Look after yourself first. But until the next video, I'm out. I'm not doing any joke for this. There's videos up there, there's subscribers over there. Do something about that.